After more than 9 years of investing consistently into global ETFs together with my wife, I have tested a large number of brokers across Europe. But instead of doing a surface level comparison of 20 different brokerages or so, I decided to focus this video on the 3 brokers I stuck with and which I'm actively using on a monthly basis today, 9 years later. Interactive Brokers, Trade Republic with its recently updated pricing model, and Scalable Capital. So let's get into my honest pros and cons of each of the 3, as no broker is perfect as it stands, and how each of them serve a slightly different purpose in our setup. Before we get started, nothing I mentioned in this video is sponsored, but I may receive a small commission if you end up using my links to the brokers in the description below. Thank you for the support if you do, and now let's move on to the broker I use the most, Interactive Brokers. For a few reasons I'll get to in a moment, this is my largest brokerage account and where we have our largest recurring monthly ETF investments running. Out of all the brokers I've used over the years, this is the one I personally trust the most. And here is why. Interactive Brokers has been operating for several decades, has a strong financial position, and because it is a publicly listed company, it publishes detailed financial results on a regular basis. I really appreciate that level of transparency, especially as the value of our portfolio continues to grow. Another major advantage is its global availability. Interactive Brokers accepts clients from 222 countries and territories, which is more important than it may sound at first. If you ever move to another country, which is quite common in Europe, you can easily update your country of residence or migrate your account to another Interactive Brokers entity internally instead of having to transfer your shares to a completely different broker. For an account you may want to keep for several decades, I believe this is a major advantage many European investors overlook when starting out. Number 3, there are no account fees and trading fees are very low, starting at only €1.25 for euro-traded UCITS ETFs using the tiered pricing model. Like the global ETF we buy on a regular basis, where we end up paying that exact fee for orders up to €2,500 each. Meanwhile, US stocks start at only 35 cents in fees per order, which you can buy directly in their local currency like USD using euros or other currencies, while paying an extremely low foreign exchange fee of only 0.03%. Pro number 4 is another area where I believe IB has an edge over other brokers I've tested. It's broad access to stocks and ETFs across 170 markets and 40 countries. Based on my experience, what this means in practice is that you're usually able to access newly launched UCITS ETFs here before they become available on other European brokers. But it actually goes deeper than that. Depending on the country you live in, some brokers restrict access to many ETFs when the key information document isn't available in your local language or when the fund hasn't been specifically registered for distribution in your country. Sadly, this even happens with popular global ETFs. Interactive Brokers handles this much better in my opinion. Because its European users agree to receive documents in English, someone based in Greece, for example, may still be able to buy an ETF that wasn't specifically registered in their country as long as an English key information document is available, which it usually is. And one final feature I particularly like is how IB handles recurring investments. First, you can set up a recurring investment for as soon as the next working day, so you're extremely flexible. But most importantly, instead of executing a massive batch of orders all at once, which can push the purchase price up due to market impact, IB uses a volume-weighted average price system where orders are executed in small batches throughout the trading day. And all investors with a recurring investment for the same stock or ETF on a given day end up paying the same average price. I really like this approach and I wish other brokers would treat recurring investments the same way. Of course, Interactive Brokers isn't perfect. Its most obvious con is that the broker can feel overwhelming when you first start. Since it was built for professional investors, it has a ton of features making it quite complex. While the website and its 2 mobile apps have improved a lot, the interface still needs a bit of getting used to compared to newer, more modern brokers. That said, once you've placed your first order or set up a recurring investment, it becomes pretty straightforward, so don't worry. This video, which I'll link below, should help you with that. Con number 2 is that while IB does pay interest on uninvested cash in 23 currencies, the first 10,000 euros or dollars are excluded, and the rate also depends on your account's total net asset value. If your main goal is just earning interest on a relatively small cash reserve, I would hold the cash somewhere you're able to earn the ECB rate on all of it, and then transfer money to IB whenever you're making an investment. At least that's what I'm doing. And con number 3 is that if you're based in a country like Austria or Germany, where taxes can be quite complex even for accumulating ETFs, using interactive brokers will require some extra work on your end in order to file them correctly on a yearly basis. If you're in those two countries, picking a broker like Trade Republic instead could make your life easier as they take care of taxes for you. Having said that, IB does offer tax-advantaged accounts in some countries like the UK, France, Sweden and Hungary. Next up is my second most used broker, Trade Republic. They implemented some interesting changes recently, which I'll get to shortly in the pros and cons section. I have a smaller recurring ETF investment running here on a monthly basis, and I occasionally use it to invest additional money throughout the month. Not because I'm trying to time the market, but because I'm self-employed, so I get paid at random times. We also park most of our cash reserves here, so I either place an order right away when I'm paid, or I quickly transfer the money to interactive brokers and buy my ETF there. Meanwhile, my wife has a separate Trade Republic account we currently use to invest for a 3-year-old daughter, with us planning to gift her the ETF shares once she turns 18. Okay, now let's get to what I like and what I'd like to see improved. Its first advantage has to be its simplicity. The app is easy to use and the fee model couldn't be more straightforward. No account fees, commission-free recurring investments, a flat €1 fee for direct ETF orders using the new best price model, where Trade Republic gets you the best currently available price across several exchanges, or a flat €2 fee if you'd like to place an order using a specific exchange like Xetra, Borsa Italiana or TradeGate yourself, or if you want to buy US stocks, for example, directly via the US Nasdaq exchange. Trade Republic has really improved a lot in this respect, as you're not limited to the Lang & Schwarz exchange anymore, and you're now even able to see the order book. And second, Trade Republic is paying the ECB rate of currently 2.25% per year on all uninvested cash in your account, which is why we've been using the broker for most of our cash reserves. If you're a new user, you even get 3% per year on the first 50,000 euros right now. And third, since they're a fully licensed German bank, you're able to use Trade Republic like a regular bank account, which I really appreciate, and use the Trade Republic card for payments while collecting 1% in SafeBack. And lastly, one of the biggest advantages for residents in Austria, Germany, France, Italy and Spain, automatic tax handling. If you're a resident in one of those 5 countries, Trade Republic will take care of taxes for you. But if you're not, you still get a useful tax report summarizing everything each year. And now let's get to what I consider to be its downsides right now. While I haven't personally hit an unresolved issue and neither have my friends and family members using the bank, the most common historical criticism has been its customer service, perhaps because they've grown so quickly to over 10 million customers and over 150 billion euros in assets and weren't able to scale their support staff appropriately. To their credit, they seem to have noticed and invested a lot into improving this aspect this year. We're now able to call customer service directly, which wasn't possible before. It's a lot easier to reach a human support agent in the app, and Trade Republic even started an official subreddit where brokers seems to be actively listening to and implementing feedback from the community. Second, while the web interface has been improved and is now clearly better for investing compared to before, it's still missing a lot of features compared to the phone app. This is especially noticeable for anything related to interest and banking, where you still have to switch the mobile Trade Republic app. I'd love to be able to do all of these things on a larger computer screen as well, so I hope this changes. The third con is worth knowing if you ever plan to relocate. Currently, your Trade Republic account is tied to the country where you opened it. If you move even to another one of the 18 countries where Trade Republic operates, your account is closed and you're asked to transfer your shares to another broker. And as it stands, you're then unable to open another Trade Republic account in the new country. I've been told that they're working on fixing this, but that's how it is right now. And the last downside I've noticed is that limit orders are limited to 2 decimals, making limit orders for stocks and ETFs with a smaller share price like this one, for example, pretty useless right now. And finally, we have our third broker, Scalable Capital. My wife has a recurring ETF investment running here every month, as we're using her Trade Republic account to invest for our daughter separately. Unlike the other two, Scalable doesn't perform a completely unique function in our setup, but it serves as an alternative that works well for what we need. That's why I'll keep the pros and cons short this time. First, pricing is simple. There are no account fees, recurring investments are commission-free, and if we need to place a direct order, we pay a flat 99 cents in fees. Second, the broker is very easy to use, and I like its interface, with all features being available both in the app and its web view. Third, being a licensed German bank as well, they take care of taxes for residents in Germany, and they're working on expanding this to other countries like Austria as well. Until then, you do get a pretty useful tax report issued by KPMG on a yearly basis. As for the cons, The first one is its limited availability, since Scalable is currently only available in 6 countries. At least it looks like. You should be able to keep your account if you move within Europe. And con number 2 is that the broker seems to still be unprofitable according to a recent report. That is not the case with my 2 other brokers. Interactive Brokers reported $4.8 billion in pre-tax income for 2025, and Trade Republic seems to have generated over 200 million euros in profit during its last fiscal year. Now we're still talking about a strictly regulated German bank here, where your assets still belong to you if the broker ever gets into financial trouble. But I still see profitability as an extra layer of protection, which is why this is currently our smallest account among the 3 brokers. There you have it, the 3 brokers we use, each with slightly different jobs. Interactive Brokers is where the bulk of our money goes every month for all the reasons I just mentioned. If I had to pick a single one, this one would be it. Trade Republic is where most of our cash sits earning interest, and where I invest whenever I get paid at random times as a self-employed person. And Scalable Capital is simply a solid alternative we've been happily using for years. As I've shown you today, none of the 3 are perfect. But after more than 9 years of investing in low-cost ETFs, including a lot of trial and error, they are the brokers we're still actively using today. Which probably tells you more than a long broker comparison table could. If you're just getting started, just pick the one that covers what's important to you the best and get going. You can find the links to all 3 down below in the description, which is a great way to support me if you'd like to. Now I'd love to know in the comments, what is your favorite broker and why? And if you want to know not just where I invest, but also the most important lessons I've learned from 9 years of investing in ETFs, then make sure you watch this video next. Thank you so much for watching, have a wonderful day, and until next time.